ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own.
The Borg have, arguably, been the greatest threat the United Federation of Planets has ever known. However, it's important to remember that they weren't only an enemy to the Federation, nor just an enemy to the Alpha and Beta quadrants. They were, or perhaps are, a threat to all life in the universe. In Star Trek Picard Season 3, we finally see the ending of the Borg. Or at least that's what Starfleet believes. The problem is, Starfleet is wrong, and the Borg have won. Let's just get into it.
Must be something you assimilated.
What have you done?
I thought we didn't need words to understand each other.
We know that the Borg were near annihilated after the virus given by the Mad Titan. If the Borg Queen is to be trusted, and she's not, the collective was left near destroyed, forced to consume itself and unable to assimilate other planets. Again, we shouldn't trust her because she is known for deception, but let's assume that this is correct. Even if that's the case, everyone in the universe still loses. And there's one main reason why. Evolution.
Your cultures will evolve to serve the future. Peace and prosperity will spread across the galaxy. You will be assimilated.
You see, the Borg always had a backup plan. If they weren't able to change the universe and bring a new order through forced assimilation, they'll leave a little part of themselves in those that are able to find freedom after the fact. And then they just let nature take its course. You may leave the collective, but the collective never leaves you. We know that the very genes themselves of Jean-Luc Picard were mutilated, modified, that any progeny that he may have would be infected and need to be a part of the collective. It's also unlikely that this would stop at Locutus. It makes no sense to just have one Borg you could modify when you could do it with all of the Terrans, if not every species you encounter. We even know that the Borg toyed with the idea of differing kinds of assimilations from Star Trek Voyager. It's also pretty clear that this mutation was placed inside of the good captain, meaning that it was on purpose. And if it was on purpose, then it can be done to not only him, but other individuals. It's important to remember that when we watch Star Trek Picard, we are seeing it from the point of view of the protagonists, or at least at best, the point of view of Starfleet. That's all fine and good, but to quote the Borg Queen herself,
You think in such three-dimensional terms.
the fact is, there may be multiple queens, and arguably multiple hives that work in tandem as one when needed, but they cut each other off when necessary. The concept of the Borg cutting off other Borg, and even whole cubes, can be seen in The Next Generation, Voyager, and again, Picard. The virus given by Janeway, while highly destructive, also did not destroy all of the Borg. There were some that, somehow, were immune. So not only is it plausible that there are arguably an infinite number of pre-Borg progeny waiting to be activated due to their DNA, but there are even hives out there that can activate them. They may not even be as in bad shape as the Alpha Quadrant hive. When you think about it, if there was even one queen, or hell, just one Borg ship that didn't have a queen but survived, and they could activate that gene from other species, call their children's children, they would exponentially multiply. The Borg, since before the Battle of Wolf 359, always had a plan B. They always prepared for their possible demise, which makes them ingenious. They knew that it could be possible that the reliance on technology would be a failure, and it would lack perfection. Naturally, the next move was biology, organic components. I will grant that the battle had been won by Starfleet, that the day was saved, but it was just a battle. Unassimilated species would have to win every time. Every war in the Alpha, Beta, Delta, and Gamma quadrants, because if they didn't, the Borg would resume, and they would begin to assimilate again, and with no cohesive coalition to destroy them at the onset, they would win. That's why, my dear viewer, the Borg will ultimately defeat every species in the known galaxy, and life as we know it in the Trek universe will end. But these are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.